Nobody really knows me like you do.
That's cute. This little set right here you can wear out, but it looks like a sleeper to me. But it's okay. It looks cute with the Hello Kitty. I like these pants. They're so comfortable.
As I was walking, I saw these press-on nails. They were pretty. They were in different colors and different designs, so I may check them out later.
I'm seeing an escalator.
So it doesn't come off. We have this one. It's like the finishing spray that you do right before you leave the house, and it seals your face so it doesn't rub off or oil off. This one's you can use it for hydrating. It's for under, over, and on top. And then this one is also the original one, but they don't seal it. So if you want something,
The original one doesn't seal it? So what does it do then?
it hydrates and it finishes it. It just doesn't seal it. It doesn't make it not come off.
Because I had the one in the black bottle. I don't know
The
if
original one.
That was the original one?
Yeah,
So
and it had
I was wondering about that.
top. This is the original one.
So,
For years, everybody's been saying that it's hit your makeup,
Yeah,
so it
that's
doesn't come off.
Okay.
It stays on the skin as well as the nail rim. It's waterproof.
Okay.
And then there's the black bottle.
journal, I wrote the verse from 2 Timothy 1:7. It says, God has not given us a spirit of fear or timidity, but of power, love, and a sound mind, self-discipline. We have to remember that when fear starts to creep its thoughts in our head, how the power of God is controlling us. We can't do nothing alone, no. But with God, that fear should subside because we're not taking on it. We're giving it to God to do. To substitute that fear, we need to go through it with faith and courage and confidence, not looking at what we see, but what we know to be true spiritually. I wrote this in my journal. Step out in faith and trust God to lead. Fear can hold us back from accomplishing a goal, fear of speaking in front of a crowd, fear of being ourselves, fear of making mistakes, fear of not trying something new. All of it can stagnate us to a place of not progressing or maturing or growing how we need to grow. And it also can stop us spiritually. So no matter what you're going through, don't let fear creep in your mind. Fight fear with God. Block out fear and keep going with faith, because you can keep going even if you sense a little fear, because that makes you courageous. You're going despite having a little fear. You keep going. You keep having faith. That's courageous. Faith in God will keep you strong. Faith in God will push you through. Faith in God will give you the confidence you need to handle any obstacles that come your way. When we're in Christ, we have to look at it in a different way. We have to look at it in a different mindset than how the world may look at it. Because we know we can do all things through God. And He wants us to show that, not only say it, but show it. So when we're going through things and we are fearful about certain things, which is being human, sometimes we can have these little fears, but we need to stomp it out and continue to go on and have faith despite all of that and be courageous, because we know God is by our side. And when I was reading Acts chapter 27, that's what came to mind as well. Paul was a prisoner, and he wanted to talk to Caesar to see if he could plead his defense so Caesar would release him. But in order to see Caesar, he had to travel, soldiers guarding him to go see Caesar. But while traveling on the ship, there was a big storm, a big, huge storm, and everyone was frightened about this, except Paul, because an angel of God came to Paul and told him to not be afraid and that they would be saved. But first, Paul told them not to travel at that time because there were going to be a big storm and that could risk their lives. But they didn't listen to Paul. They didn't listen to Paul. They kept on, they got on the ship, and they went sailing. But despite all of that, not listening to what God told Paul, the angel of God still told Paul that they will all be saved. They will all be saved. And Paul didn't have fear. He believed what God told him. That also comes to mind when we don't listen to God. When God is telling us something, what to do, and we decide to take on a different path, a different route, either because we're fearful, afraid to go, or we just feel like we know best. When we try to do it on our own terms, we have to go through a lot of things. We have to go through so much that if we just listen to what God told us, we wouldn't have to go through that. And that's what happened to the soldiers with Paul. They didn't listen the first time. And now they're going through all these things with the storm in the sea. We're going to have storms in our lives. But as long as we continue to listen to God and have faith in Him, He will be there helping us through those storms, through those times when it's difficult for us. And that's what He did with those soldiers who were guarding Paul on this ship. Even though they didn't listen the first time, God still showed grace to them. And He wanted Paul to see Caesar. So God was going to make sure everyone got there safely. And that means that everyone who was with Paul was going to get there safely too. Not because of anything they did, because of the favor that was on Paul. They reaped the benefits from being around Paul. They got there safely because of Paul, not because of anything the soldiers did. And I bet they probably thought that it was luck that got them safely to where their destination was. And that's how a lot of people are. When they're going through certain things, they'll say, oh, I am so lucky, instead of giving God thanks, to acknowledging what God has done for them. We can't never forget that, to acknowledge God in everything we do. And when we're going through something and we overcome it, we definitely need to thank God and acknowledge Him and not say it's just luck. And sometimes when a Christian is in the midst of something, sometimes people will receive the benefit of that Christian being in the midst in that group. So Paul was telling them to have faith and be courageous, even though they see all these things happening with them in this water. They were going to be stuck on an island for some time before they get to their destination. And I believe that is because they didn't listen the first time to what God said. They had to go through certain things because they didn't listen. But God was going to keep them safe and bring them safely to their destination. We ourselves, we have to be courageous too. Courageous in this life, because we're going to go through storms and challenges. But it's better to go through it with God.
God, you call me by my name.